I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing that's under 100.
Yo, you're in PE with Dave and Jay. Where we build while we build. I'm Jay.
I'm Dave, and today PE stands for positive energy.
Positive energy. Let's get it.
Positive energy.
All day. Yeah. What we got going on today? Today is buys and backs, right?
Yeah, buys and backs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a deadlift. So just for, a lot of you newcomers or a lot of you beginners when it comes to the workout, man, I recommend doing a deadlift on a rack such as this that it's actually attached to rails. Not going to go heavy today. I'm actually, I have issues with my lower back, so I try to take it a little slow and light when I'm doing this deadlift. But this is a great compound exercise because it gets your glutes, your hamstrings, yeah, it's just a good workout. It's just something that you don't want to leave out of your workout regimen. So
what's our
pretty
reps
much
on
right
this,
now.
Dave?
So looks like we're doing 3 times 15.
Okay.
You can raise the weight by 5 or by 2.5, whatever you want. I'm gonna do mine at 2.5. And pretty much the exercise is this: you keep your legs straight, you extend down, and just kind of pull up, full extension. Simple as that, guys. Simple as that. Nothing to it.
All right, so a lot of times when I do deadlifts or see people do deadlifts, they have their hands like this, Dave. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah. So if you're going pretty heavy,
Yeah.
if you're going pretty heavy to protect your biceps, yes, I would recommend that. But because I'm going light, I keep them the same distance. I mean, I'm not a certain distance and also the same direction.
Same direction. All right, cool. All right, it's your set, Dave.
That's a good point. Good point. All right, let me get it in.
All right. Yo, let me tell you what I experienced yesterday, bro. Super excited about this. So I'm in Atlanta. I'm an Atlanta United fan. I went to a watch party last night at the bar, right? So I was hella worried about it being crowded or me not being able to get a table. It's a really popping spot. Shout out to Hampton and Hudson. They showed mad love, right? So I put my name on a list online. It says that it's 5 people ahead of me. So I get out there, and when I get up to the hostess, it's a sister, and she's like, "Oh, I already called you." So I'm thinking, here we go with this bullshit, right? So no, it wasn't a problem. She sat me in a nice little exclusive looking section. It was me, my wife, my cousin. That's exactly where I wanted to sit. Right? Sat me there, no problem. Right? And then when my cousin actually showed up, he showed up late, the bigger guy, the table was too small. The area was just too small, right? So I thought, here we go with this bullshit. I'm gonna have to ask her to move my seat. I asked her if we could move seats. When I say that she gave me the best seat in the house after that, and it's a white bar in a white neighborhood, I felt like I was treated with such black privilege. I felt like she was happy to see brown people there. You feel me? She looked like a Latina, kind of like a maybe mixed. She treated me with such privilege where I saw other people. She was talking to white people who got there before me, or she was talking to white people who were waiting to be seated. And by the time my cousin, I said, I'm gonna need to switch seats. She was like, just let me know when your drinks come, close out your table, and I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna take you someplace else. So by the time we got ready, she stopped talking to the white people she was talking to, paid attention to me and my crew, said, I'll be right back to them, went and seated us, gave us a great seat, and then she's a hostess. The whole time we was there, she just kept coming to the table and checking on us when she would pass by seating somebody else. Y'all good? Y'all good? Y'all you need another beer? You need another drink? You need such and such? Man, I felt so privileged. And that's what I'm talking about.
All right, so the question I have is, do you feel like so did you watch her? Did you notice how she interacted with others? Was it the same? I mean, are we taking credit as far as privilege, or we're saying that she just has good customer service? I mean, which one? How are we looking at that? I mean, again, I'm glad you had a great experience, but is it more so that she's just very good at her job, or she was catering to you know, a different demographic for you know, because it's rare at that
That's
kind
a
of
good
event.
question. That's a good question, man. That's definitely a good question. I mean, I felt special. I saw her, I saw her giving good customer service to other people, but I guess because it was so rare to be treated like that in a white establishment, even especially by a black person, because a lot of times, for instance, the on the opposite side, my wife and I went to have brunch. Brunch is huge in Atlanta. Go to a place we had never been before. It's in a white neighborhood. We get in there and hella crowded. So we get up, my wife and I arrive at the exact same time as this white couple. Like, we both pull up same time. It's a black hostess, and she walks over. She's like, "Were y'all here first?" Right? So she goes and talks to them, so that they could rectify the situation. And I'm just looking like that. I'm looking at the lady like, first of all, we share the same skin color. Shouldn't we be on the same team? But obviously it's not like that. So what do you think about black privilege?
Well, I guess I don't know. I kind of don't know what it means, right? Like, I guess the way I see it, if you had to ask me, well, you are asking me, right? But if you're, right off the cuff, I'm looking at it like, well, maybe it's us taking advantage of, taking advantage of the system, a la reparations, right? Like, a la whatever, 40 acres and a mule type deal, right? Like one of those things where it's like, okay, here it is, they gave us affirmative action. And now, we're encouraging our folks to utilize those programs, to get ahead. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's like starting a race and, being held back for 30 seconds and then, carrying on in a 100-meter dash, right? 100-meter dash is only 9 seconds, 10 seconds long. You know what I mean? So, so it's just, I think that's what it is. Maybe taking advantage or, take advantage of the bones like we previously spoke of on previous conversations, take advantage of those bones that are being thrown our way. I guess that's my mindset when I hear that.
Yeah, taking advantage.
Right, but not necessarily looking at us as a whole and saying, okay, you are privileged folks and you have first dibs or whatever have you. I think it's more so, again, us just trying to take advantage of the little things that are being thrown our way to kind of even out the playing field, so to speak. Yeah. So that's how I look at it, man. I don't know. How about you? What do you? So you see it differently. You see it as you see it as a different concept, another concept?
I see it. I see it as the antithesis of white privilege, right? So white people step into any arena, thinking that they deserve. Not only do they deserve to be there, but they deserve to conquer that space. That space is blessed because they are there, and I think we should teach our children that, rather than teaching equality. Rather than teaching equality, and rather than teaching that, we're lucky to be here or we're all the same, I think it might be time for us to start teaching our children what white people teach their children, which is that spaces are blessed because they're there. Spaces are better because they're there. You feel me? And that they deserve the best and finer things in life. They deserve to get seated first. What about that? That's a little controversial. Okay. They deserve to get seated first.
Okay. And so, all right. So we're going to talk about, let me get back on screen here. But when you talk about controversial, now I throw one your way. So when you say seated first opposed to who? Right? Like, what are we talking about? Are we saying, what class of people, what race of people? I mean, is it that? Is it chronological order? Is it, you know what I mean? Like, so who are we trying to sit in front
of? This is a great question, man. Everybody, man. Everybody. Make other people. I mean, because we teach our history, right? And when we teach our history, what's the purpose of teaching that we are kings and queens? I literally hear Black folks saying, "What's up, king? What's up, queen?" Right? This is this is a phrase now. This is a greeting now, right?
Yep,
I can't
yep.
see you. But what's the point of like, what's the point of teaching that if we're not gonna behave as such, right? Make other people prove by their demeanor and the way that they enter a room that they deserve to be seated at the same table as us. Maybe that's how we need to carry ourselves in order to get this bread, or in order to start preparing our own meals at the table, in order to open our own shit. Because if we keep stepping and fetching and trying to prove that we at least deserve to gain entry, at least just let us in. Please let us in the room. Nah, right. I say, fuck that, man. Not only are you gonna let me in, not only am I coming in, but I'm gonna be seated first. And when I get in here, I'm gonna be one of the best tables in the house. You're gonna treat me as such. I feel like I could do one more set of this.
All right, bang it out, and I'll give you my point of view, right?
All right,
that brings me to another, that's a good point, saying that trying to assimilate, right? And honestly, I agree with you 100%. Another point of mine, the way I think is that I think trying to assimilate is probably the worst decision, we've ever made. Assimilate, we can't assimilate to these guys' culture.
Right.
It's apples and oranges, honestly. I mean, I think we flourished, we were better off by ourselves, so, that brings that, the age-old question, segregation, was it good or bad, right? The way I see it, I think actually, once, slavery was abolished, we had to come together and bring our, thoughts and talents together to be actually create great communities and flourishing communities. History showed that we had plenty, great communities.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying that privilege. So you're saying that privilege conversation blends into an even deeper conversation about whether we're really just trying to get a seat at the table, which is desegregation, exactly. or whether we should just fucking build our own tables and own restaurants. Well, you know what?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Let's get to our next exercise, and let's finish that discussion. And boom, you're back in PE with Dave and Jay, where we build while we build. We got back and buys. We're talking about desegregation also. Dave, what's our next exercise?
All right, so we're just gonna do a simple dumbbell back fly. All right, not to be confused with the rear delt fly. We're gonna make sure that our elbows stay close to our bodies, and as simple as just throwing the weights back and feeling that contraction in your back.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom.
Simple as that, guys. Simple as that.
What's our rep set on this?
So we're looking at doing 12. I'm sorry, 15, 12, 10 with a drop 8.
15,
so
12, 10
after that,
right.
after the 10, we're gonna do drop 8 immediately afterwards.
Got it.
All right, and make sure that you lower your weight. Make sure you lower your weight after the 10. It's very important. So you want to get a lighter weight for the drop set, because you're gonna do it right after your heavier set.
Right after the heavier set. All right, cool. Yep. So okay. So what was it? 1954. Brown versus Board of Education. All right. Thurgood Marshall. He stood that separate but equal is not constitutional. Right. I think it was the late 1900s with Plessy versus Ferguson, where they said separate but equal. Right. That's what opened up the Jim Crow South. You're telling me that segregation was bad? How could segregation be bad, Dave?
All right, so I'm sorry, desegregation rather, right?
That's what I mean, desegregation, yeah.
Right. I say it's bad in the sense is, it depends on where we're trying to assimilate, what we're trying to assimilate to. Are they ready for us? Is it one of those things where are we going to be equal regardless, right? And I think the reason why I say so is because when I look at us as a whole in the community, when we were segregated, we had something to tie us together. You understand what I mean? And we had a better community. You had a better sense of community, because we were all downtrodden, right? We were working together to create something. And I think once we started to assimilate, we lost focus on that.
Okay.
You know,
all right. Yes, set. All right. So you're saying that we had a stronger sense of community when we were segregated, and you feel like with desegregation, we started trying to assimilate to European culture and customs. Okay, I got that. I can feel you on that. I would say without desegregation, we wouldn't get freedoms. We wouldn't get freedoms and rights. We wouldn't get financial blessings from the government without desegregation. What do you think about that? Like, for instance, our schools, right? Our school system, even though the school system sucks still, our schools back then had no funding at all, right? They basically said, no, we're not going to give you shit. And it was something they called the black tax, I think, where it was like a double tax almost. It's like you had to pay taxes, but then you had to pay extra just to fuel your schools or fuel education. Like we weren't getting anything from the government. So
wow,
without
that's the first I've heard that.
Yeah, so without desegregation, we weren't getting shit. All right, what do you think about that?
I really can't expound. I can't really expound on that because, like I said, that's the first time I've ever, that I'm hearing of, such a tariff. But look, the way I see it, I think love conquers all. Like, honestly, I think when you love yourself and you love your community, man, anything's possible. As far as the resources, right? I mean, people are homeschooling at a crazy rate at this point because of COVID. So I think, and I get it, folks weren't educated beforehand, right? So it was hard for them to, but again, like I said, there were educators, there were people that were actually made it through the system and were able to build through, unconventional methods. So like I said, I think when you love yourself and you love your community, I think anything's possible. So, I mean, ways can be made. As far as financial assistance, it wasn't necessary because, like, you look at communities like Tulsa and even Rosewood and even Durham, they were able to do so without the help of the government. If anything, the government went in and actually destroyed those communities after they discovered that they were flourishing. So
that they were flourishing.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So again, to answer your question, I don't think it's necessary. I think what we do is we get handicapped by those financial from the financial assistance, and we lose our sense of we lose our gusto to say it plain. I think we lose a little bit when we're assisted in that manner. I think when we have something, with nothing to lose and everything to gain, man, we have a fire and a fever behind us. You know what I mean? So I think that slows us down.
I can agree with that, and I think also what happens is when you become reliant on funding to come from your government or to come from people that don't respect you or really care about you. When you haven't raised the funds yourself, they're able to hold those funds over your head. They're able to use it, right? So now you can't teach. What are they talking about now? Critical race theory. Now you can't teach history. Now you can't teach history, or they give you the books, right? That's what has been our situation. They give you the books, right? So if the funding for education is coming from a government that doesn't care about you and doesn't appreciate you in the first place, they don't want you to know your history. They're going to provide books and provide literature that writes you out of history or retells history in a fucked up way. So in that sense, I tend to agree with you on that one. That's
a great point. That's a great point. Yeah, you allow them to control the narrative. You allow them to control the narrative, indeed. And we do have a rich history. And the thing is, we're trying to find ourselves. We're trying to, you don't know where you're going until you know where we came from. So I think that's very important that we take control of that. And again, when you assimilate, right, and from it's all about origin, right? It's like where we came from and how we were brought over, and how we were brought up, and we were afflicted by psychological warfare. I think it's very important that we do segregate and find ourselves. We have to, just like with like a man and woman. Sometimes, man, they come together off a false pretense or whatever have you. It's too soon, And then you'll notice like, the man or woman may have doubts, like they'll get married like at a young age and they haven't really found themselves. They don't really know who they are. They don't know where they're going. So they can't really devote themselves to their partner. You understand what I'm saying? So I think it's the same thing here because we have no real beginning, or at least we don't know our beginnings, right? So we have to find that and create a community and a sense of pride within ourselves to be able to, I guess, cut the mustard, so to speak. And I think we have the ability. We have it. It's just that we're not looked at so because we don't have a great. So you and I can be successful on our own, but as a whole, as a people, to be respected and to create economic prowess, and also political prowess, we have to come together as one. See, the thing is, the way this union was started is they elected their officials that had their best interests in mind, and that's what
it's still that way. It's still that way, right? It's still
exactly.
That way. It's just it.
Okay.
It's still that way, right? It's still that way, right? So, but okay, and I totally get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, desegregation is absolutely necessary because there were laws in place that says you can't be here, and there's no way in hell that we could allow ourselves to exist in a situation where there are spaces that we literally cannot occupy, right? So desegregation is absolutely 100% necessary because we needed to change the laws that said we couldn't be there, right? Now, the desegregation of the schools, it opened up this whole thing with busing, right? The whole busing system, where, now they're like, okay, well, if the public school system in Black neighborhoods, if it has no funding, if it lacks resources, the only way for things to truly be equal is for Blacks to be bused to white neighborhoods. And then if we're integrating, we have to bus whites to Black neighborhoods also, right, to go to school. And so in history, Blacks, of course, they didn't really want to do that because it was unsafe. But also whites, even the whites that were cool with Blacks going to their school or being bused to their neighborhoods, they weren't cool with their kids being bused to our school. You feel me? They weren't cool with that. So my point is, one, we definitely had to desegregate because there were laws in place that said we couldn't be there. And then two, I think we had to desegregate because we needed to equal the playing field. We needed people to see and admit our schools are better because of funding. Our schools are better because of government funding. The government gives us money for our schools to look like this. And your kids could come here, but we're not letting our kids go there because your schools are shit. That's what desegregation did. It made them admit that shit.
Hey, so before you get into this,
before
you get into this, so I would encourage you to go grab your lighter set so you can just jump right in.
I'm already on a light set.
What I mean is for your drop.
This one is this is already too light, bro. I'm doing like 25 of these.
Copy. All right.
Yeah.
So no. So like I agree with you. I'm not talking as far as the legality of desegregation. I'm just talking about the ideology. You understand? More so. Yeah, you're gonna have the same rights, brother, but we're not gonna necessarily live in the same communities. Okay, because the whole idea of white superiority is having someone to be superior over. You understand what I mean? And I don't want to be a stepping stool. The thing is, we'll always be second-class citizens if we are trying to assimilate, okay? Because that means that we are trying to fit in. We're trying to live up to a certain standard. And that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like, allowing us to go back to that era where we have no rights or we have no opinions. That's not where I'm going. I'm just saying more so as trying to merge communities and trying to fit in with a certain status. That's what I'm talking about. I think, like I said,
Yeah. So desegregation, desegregation was.
I'm good. We're gonna move on.
So desegregation was necessary, but you're saying, but what we're really talking about is integration. We're talking about like the idea of do we really? We needed desegregation, but assimilation. Do we really want to integrate to assimilate, or do we want to just create our own?
And I think we need our own. I think we do need our own. I think so look, man, so the reason why I'm on I'm on this kick is because I look at certain communities and I envy them. I envy the Jewish community and I envy the Asian community because they make sure that their folks have, you know, they come together and they, you know, they create a network to make sure that they have, man, if they have, you know, if they have someone coming from their motherland and they, you know, and once they come over, man, they make sure they pool their money, you know, together to make sure that that guy's a contributing member of society. Right.
Absolutely.
So I think we don't do that. We're more crabs in a barrel because we've been psychologically disturbed.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely. So psychologically disturbed. Yeah.
So I, you know, and I think, like I said, just through networks like this, we can start to, you know, develop that bond, the brotherhood. You know what I mean? We get it back and we start networking, creating things for ourselves, man.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. That's a really good point. But we got to move on. What's our next exercise? Yo, you're in PE. Well, welcome back to PE with Dave and Jay, where we build while we build. Great conversation on desegregation, integration, and assimilation. What's our next exercise, though, Dave?
I like that. So the next exercise is going to be your cable pull downs, your single arm cable pull down. All right. So most people, to try to target the wings, they normally get on a bench and you see them. They'll try to roll a weight back. But see, I think with this exercise, you get a better range of motion and it's more athletic movement. All right. Okay. So the exercise is simple. You know, you get you get on the cables and you set it to the higher setting. Right now it's 18 for me. And all I'm doing is one arm, I'm rolling it back. And then I'm switching arms, rolling it back. And as I'm switching arms, I'm also changing my stance.
Right. So here, and then here. You
go. Yep.
Here. Boom. All right, Dave. I got one for you.
What was that?
Missing Whyte Woman Syndrome.
I already know. Okay. Hey, so are you gonna set it? I'm gonna do the first set. I'm gonna do the first set.
Yeah, you do your first set.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the first set. You let me know where you coming from with this one.
You know what's crazy about it, right? What's crazy about it is the most recent white woman that went missing. I promise you, this was an organic thought. I had never heard of this Missing Whyte Woman Syndrome thing. Even before the CNN correspondent lady blasted it out, I didn't hear about it. I genuinely had an organic, authentic thought on my couch when they kept talking about this white woman that was missing, and I was like, "Why is she so special?" I said this, like, "Why is she so special?" And then that formulated into, "How come I don't ever hear about Black women being missing?" Right? I promise you, it just came about for myself. Oh. And then I see the CNN correspondent and everybody's mad at her about the shit that she said, but this shit is true. Every year, there's at least one white woman that is missing and they're all talking about it. And I never hear about any of the Black women in my community missing.
So you know, it's on you, but like, look, just like my Rico voice, you know what I mean? Like, yo, people go missing every day, B, right? And my thing is this: what's wild is that you know what, I think it's a flex, homie. I think honestly, when you see that, I think it's a flex. It's basically showing me, you know, basically reiterating or refreshing us to know that we're on top, and our lives is what matter, homie. Like we don't really, you know what I'm saying. And then again, there's no money in the, sensationalizing, our folks missing, homie. Like it's only money in criminalizing our actions. You understand what I'm saying? So like the way I see it, like they're just basically saying like, okay, our lives are precious, and when something's going on, man, we gotta televise it. It's like I said, it's a flex. So letting them know that, you know what I'm saying? Like we are still on top.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like we are still on top. So that's how I see it. That's why I think you're seeing it. Oh, so you're not gonna alternate yours, huh? I see what you're doing.
I did. I went here.
I got you. So I do an alternate like every one, boom, boom. But it's okay. You do.
Okay. Yeah, I can try that next time. All right. So you went one.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Okay. So the importance. So the importance of the importance of the media coverage is so paramount, right? Like everybody, it's obvious. If someone is missing, in order to get them back, you've got to blast it so that people know that they're missing, right? Or I think of like, say for instance, in Emmett Till. When Jim Crow South was beating Black folks' brains in and doing all types of shit to Black bodies. It was Emmett Till's mom, when they returned her son and she saw what he looked like, She said, this needs to be on the cover. I want people to see the picture of what they did to my son. And that sparked change, right? That sparked change. You're absolutely right. It is an agenda to remind people that white women are at risk and that white women matter more. We've got to change this shit.
That's all I'm saying, homie. And again, like you know, like you say, happens to us all the time, and it's one of those things where, it's sickening, right? It's sickening, but again, if we're by ourselves, I'm going back to the whole assimilation. If we're by ourselves, we have our own network. We're caring about ourselves, and we're making sure that it's televised on our own networks, or in our own style of network. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, BET.
So what? No, but not even because we have a different. We had a different network back in the day. We were more so a community, like in the hood. You know what I mean? We're putting out that APB. You understand what I'm saying?
Like TV1, y'all should at least be doing this shit. If CNN and I'm sorry, but if we don't have the regular news networks that are doing it, at least our own station should be doing it. You said something there, bro.
Well, yeah, and my thing is the network would not necessarily networks as far as the media sense, but like I said, like in the hood, like that network in the hood, like when somebody looking for you, when somebody looking for you, it, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's just one of those things where if you owe somebody money, like you're trying to avoid buddy, and your name's out in the street, it's like like I said, it's you're blacklisted, so that easily, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing as far as the positive. If we need, if we're trying to find someone, people know, people are in the streets, people know. So like I said, it's just. That's why I said we're better by ourselves. I know I'm going off topic.
You think so?
But we're better by ourselves because we're not gonna get no love from them, man. We're not gonna get no love from them, bro. Like I said, we're still second rate. We're still second class. When people have to say I don't see color and all that, they still talk like that. They have to be sensitive around you.
Right.
We're not. We're not the same. We're not the same. So it is what it is, man. Like I call it how I see it. And again, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It doesn't really bother me. I understand. I embrace that. But again, I'm more so. I'm right now. I'm looking to take that same philosophy and do better for us. You understand what I'm saying?
But there was even Elian Gonzalez. You remember that guy, the little kid?
Oh man.
You remember that shit? That shit. When have we had a little black kid that they were blasting all over the news like this child is missing? We need to get this child back to their poor black family. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand if it was like a rich family and it was a black child, then we probably would hear about it, right? But
I'm gonna stop my set. Hold on. You, my bad. I don't mean to cut you off, but you sparked something in me right now. I stopped my set to talk about.
I'm gonna take another set.
Look, I'm gonna go into that one. So look, all right. So a lot of people argue with you and say, well, we gave those guys a platform and he's Hispanic, right?
Right. But that was a bone.
No, it wasn't a bone. I'm gonna tell you why it wasn't a bone. Because in this country now, they're trying to assimilate like Cubans to white culture. Okay, they're again them seeing that they're going to be minorities here shortly. They're trying to bandwagon pretty much they're trying to bandwagon every race that's not us. You understand what I'm saying? And assimilate them to their culture. So they're in the club now, right? So I think that was the start. That was the start of something else for me. At least that's my point of view. Okay, I can be wrong, but not right now. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that was a ploy to get these guys assimilated to like, hey man, like y'all all right. We can deal with y'all. You know what I mean? We'll pass you on as white. You're all right. So you know what I'm saying? Right. It wasn't nothing about the right
skin color. You got the right skin color.
And the thing is, bro, they fall right into it because they don't like us either. You understand what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Okay, so I still, I agree. But you know what? But I still stand by this, man. This whole the Missing Whyte Woman Syndrome is rooted in the fear of Black sexuality, especially Black male.
Whoa!
That's what it's rooted in, man. That's rooted. And they're scared of the big black guy, the big black dick. The white woman is always they put out propaganda with Black men looking like gorillas, and they're swooping up defenseless white women by their ankles, and they're tearing their clothes off, and they're sexually assaulting
ravaging them.
ravaging them, right? We're animals that want to get their women, and they're still trying to they're trying to push, they're trying to reiterate this asinine idea, right? That's what I feel like this white women syndrome is rooted in, you know, and it's infuriating because I have Black daughters and a Black wife, you know, and could you imagine what it would feel like? This is my last set. Could you imagine what it would feel like if one of our children was missing, one of our daughters was missing, and we're doing everything we can to try to find them, including going to the media, and they won't cover it? Could you imagine that shit, Dave?
Yeah,
you want to
again, like
somebody.
Right, and I go back to the same point. There's no money in that. There's no money in that. There's no money in our baby girls, homie. And as a matter of fact, the only money is in harvesting their organs and actually putting them on the market. You know
like that little boy, like the boy that they found. They found the boy, right? They found the boy and all his organs was gone. You heard about that, right? Recently.
Nah, I haven't heard about it.
That's all a part of it. I'm so glad you said that because that's a part of this conversation. I'm gonna drop a link. I'm gonna drop a link at the bottom of this video so that anybody who needs information about that can find it, right? Yeah, they just recently found I think it's a teenage boy. All his organs are missing. You know, all his organs are missing, bro. They've been wondering where this kid was. Found him after the CNN correspondent called bullshit on the white woman missing shit. Found the little boy and all this shit is gone, bro. So you called it, man. Harvesting organs, man. We're just Black bodies. Soulless Black bodies. And I'm sick of that shit. Soulless Black bodies.
I like that.
Shit. Yeah.
I mean,
what's on? Hey man, great conversation. We could talk about this all day, man. I think we have one more exercise. We could fit one more in.
You want to fit one more in? Let's fit one more in.
Fit one more in. Man. All right. So you back in PE with Dave and Jay, where we build while we build. That's my dude Dave. I'm his dude Jay.
What?
What? It's back day. Hope y'all still with us. I know you are. So I got one for you, Dave. But first, show us what the next exercise. All right, so
it's gonna be a straight arm pull down. Simple as the description, all right, or as a narrative. I'm sorry, the nomenclature of the exercise here, man. Simple. You got right. So again, you're gonna set your cable rack to the highest setting, and you just with straight arms, you're pulling down. Wow.
Straight down.
Funny how that works, huh?
Straight down.
You're targeting your back muscles with this. Straight down.
My feet are planted together?
Yeah, you can. Any way you slice it, because you really, if you want to support your core that way, that's great. But any way you want to stand is fine. But again, you're focusing on your back and you're getting that extension.
Awesome. All right, Dave, you're set. So I got one for you.
Let's get it.
Is Lil Nas X gay for pay?
Woo!
Is he just gay, or is this man gay for pay? I don't know, man. I don't know. He came out. When he first came out, he was straight. He was just a regular lame rapper.
Was he? Didn't know that.
He was. When he first came out, he wasn't gay. He didn't come out. He came out later. He came out in the closet first. And then had so many people angry. They had so many people angry because they liked his song and kids were singing it in school. And they're like, now what was he talking about? I cheated on my baby. Was he cheating on a woman with a man, or a man with a woman, or what the hell this guy got going on? I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you think? You think Lil Nas is gay, or you think he's just gay for pay?
All right. So let me peel it back deeper. I think today's era is disturbed psychologically for this very reason. So there's a lot of pressure on teenagers. There's a lot of pressure on kids to be different in the social media era, right? Like that's all they're trying to do. Everybody's trying to identify themselves and be different. Now that gay culture has been accepted, okay, kids are just doing it to be different. They're doing it because it's what's popular, bro. It's not because they actually have a preference, or they have they have a sexual preference, man. But I think so. Yeah, it sells, and I think that those folks, that community is being exploited just like blacks were in the 70s and the 60s. And, you know what I mean?
Shit,
So
wait,
like,
say it again. Message. Say it again.
right?
Oh, shit,
I believe
man.
that they're being exploited, and I'm almost inclined to believe that the powers that be are allowing them enough rope to hang themselves to kind of discredit their movement as well, similar to Black Lives Matter. You know what I mean? So like, it's one of those things where it's like, allow all these radicals to talk. Let them keep talking. Let them keep pushing this wild agenda. And then soon enough the people will turn against them. Right.
Ooh,
so I had
okay.
a conversation. Well, you know what? You go ahead and expound on that. But I have something else to add to this.
Okay. First off, I want to say shout out to Chrissy Ruby. Chrissy Ruby, you know.
Yep.
We hear you, sis.
She
profound thought. That's growth. Yeah, man. But,
she put that in my head. I was like, I was paralyzed.
Growth,
like, what?
He that finds a woman, a wife finds a great thing in most cases.
Yeah.
Or, but or whatever they said. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, man. I agree with you, man. It's definitely I don't know. I feel like people like Lil Nas X, they kind of, what do you call it? They make the movement seem disingenuous. Like they kind of give other people ammunition, to shoot holes in it. It's like, I mean, granted, homophobia is real, and gay bashing is a severe and serious issue. So I can understand why one would be in the closet and then later come out of the closet. With me though, when it comes to Lil Nas X, the reason why I think he's gay for pay is because I live in Atlanta and I know a lot of gay people. I encounter a lot of gay people. I encounter a lot of gay dudes, right? And not every gay man wears pink all the time. Not every gay man wears chinos and chaps or leather crotches and does all this extravagant shit. Like, just because you're a gay man or a gay rapper, that doesn't mean that you can't wear Timbs and a fitted. Or that doesn't mean that you can't just wear some sweatpants. You know what I mean? Like, why is Lil Nas X always like look like he just stepped out of a video for YMCA? You feel me? The village people. Why does he look like a village person? I mean, this motherfucker is gay for pay.
Hey, so look, my thing is this though. Well, to kind of defend that, man. The way I see it is, he's gay when the time is right. I think so he might not rock that shit at the crib, or he might not rock that shit at Walmart, but he's gonna rock that shit with the cameras on.
In public, yeah.
Right. So I mean, like I said, so I agree with you on the fact that, okay, now he's pushing that too hard, because you can be a normal individual. So that word is taboo, right? But I use it. I don't care, right? But you can't be necessarily a normal individual and just rock, something not as flamboyant, right? For the camera as well, to show that, hey, look, it's not. I'm not trying to glamorize this lifestyle, right? I'm not trying to push it, but they are. right. So that's the point you're trying to make. They are trying to push an agenda.
Yeah. And they hate to hear us say that, but they hate to hear hetero folks say that, but it's true, man. And matter of fact, I think we're coming up to the end of this set, but we definitely need to have a conversation the next time we meet about this hetero agenda, right? Like, when I say that, I mean like Lil Boosie or the Baby or people like that saying, why can't hetero people be proud? Why if I'm a hetero proud, that means that I'm homo hate? So that's gonna be our next conversation. I'll make sure y'all tune in for that next video, right? But
or I'm gonna add to this, or if we're going back to that whole cancel culture, if we're all in a free country, why we can't say what the fuck we want about what you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we canceled? Is that really hate, or is this our opinion? We're flexing our freedom of speech, right? Like, come on now.
Yeah, man.
Like, again, nobody cares what, like, I'm not gonna get into it right now. I'm not gonna get into it.
But with what you were saying about like kind of messing up the movement, right? How's the way that you put it though? What is Lil Nas X do to gays? What is it?
I think I think basically, like, he's going too far. Basically, he's discrediting their movement.
Yeah, he's discrediting the movement. Yeah, because imagine this. Imagine some hillbilly at home or some racist black dude sitting in his crib, and they were watching Lil Nas X. They listen to Montero, and they think it's the greatest album ever, right? But now their perception of what a gay man is Lil Nas X. That's what Lil Nas X has done to the gay rights movement. He has put his face on it, and now that's what gay is. At the end of the day, Lil Nas, stop it. If you're gay, be gay, but you don't got to go too far, bro. And if you're gay for pay, filter some of that back into the gay community and into the black community as well. You know where he lost me though, man?
Well, which one are you first? Which one are you first?
You're black first, aren't you?
Hey. I like to think so.
Gonna make some people mad with that, but oh well. I'll get in the gym. Fight me, bro.
Yeah, fight me. Come at me, son.
Yo, you've been in PE with David J, bro. That's been back there. I hope y'all got some use out of it. I know that we got some physical excellence in here, but I hope that you got what, Dave? What were we aiming at today for the PE?
Well, for me, it was positive energy, but I think we lost
energy.
That, huh?
I hope you got some. No, man, it's all love and it's all positivity, man. Hey, check out our next video, man.
I don't want nothing to sign down. I don't want nothing.